What's up, guys? So on my chest days, shoulder days, back days, pretty much every day, I always start off doing this just to get some internal, external rotation in my shoulders, warm them up, do this a few times and then switch, do the other side. Then I'll even do it like this, kind of pull it out like this and just boom, 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 boom. This is the first thing I do on my shoulder days and chest days and stuff like that. Just warm those shoulders up a little bit like this. It feels really good. Just do it over and over, and then maybe take a little small weight and, you know, do the little rotations in and out and stuff if you need it. Anything that I'm using my arms, I even do this on leg day sometimes because it feels so good and it's just good for your shoulders. So I always kind of do this. All right, so I always start with flat bench. Always have, probably always will as long as I'm able. I believe in starting with your compound movement and exhausting a compound movement. I don't just do 4 sets. I do 5, 6, 7, sometimes 8, 10 sets of the compound, if you know, especially when it comes to bench. I believe bench is superior. I know people feel that way about incline and decline, but do what you can. If your shoulder hurts you doing flat bench, then do an alternative. That's how I put it. You know, do what you can. You know, you got people in the gyms that are always like, you got to do squats, you got to do this, you got to do what you can, stretch and exercise the best of your ability. But I always start with this. I always start with flat bench. After my warm up, I always hit the bar. I always go at the bar first and just kind of get my movement down and feel it. So we're going to get down here and just warm up just with this bar. All right, I've hit a set with the bar 10, boom, 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 pushed it out, whatever. Now I added a plate up there. I like Mike Rashid. I follow Mike Rashid quite a bit, and I'm a believer in his style, especially on bench. I do it on a lot of stuff too, but I'm a believer in when you pyramid up, that you pyramid up quickly. You add racks. You know, you don't do 5 or 6 sets to get too close to that PR area. Get there in 3. Because you're exhausting yourself, thinking you're warming up on the way, but you're wearing yourself out. So what you need to do is just go ahead on up. You've warmed yourself up. You've did the bands. You did the bar. Now it's time to just start adding the plates and go on up pretty quickly. Always make sure you've got a spot, especially when you're getting up to even close to your PR range, because every day's different. So we're just going to get down here. We're going to hit this just like we would if it was, you know, 315. Creatine, electrolytes, and pre-workout in one mixture. Time to hit my next set. You see, instead of just adding a 25, I just added another 45 because I know I'm getting up there to that weight that I can still move kind of heavy, but I've slowed down. So typically I've just did the bar, did 145, now I'm doing 245s. So really it's only 2 sets. You don't really count the bars as a warm-up set. So this is only like my second set. So like I said, I've moved up, I'm titrating up fast, and then I'm gonna come down slower. All right, so it's getting a little bit more serious for me because I'm not them big, strong guys like some of you. But I'm only at 315. I do not recommend getting up to this high without having a spot. So I may cheat a little bit, but I'm here, I'm gonna do it. And so this is what I mean by going up quickly though. I'm going on up to a heavier weight. And typically, like if I had a spot, if I could hit this like 3 times, I'm going to do it again. I'm gonna rest a minute and I'm gonna come back and do it like one time. Then I'm gonna do my drop. So it all depends on how I feel. There's some days I can rep this and some days I can't even do it. So today's gonna be a day I can at least do it. Let's get this. All right, guys, so real quick before we move on to the next movement, because I don't want to bore you with videos on bench press. Before I titrate back down, or pyramid back down, wanted to show y'all what I did. So I had a 45 here. I literally took that 45 off from 315 and I got 35 up here, 25 and a 10, okay? So I dropped 10 pounds on each side, that's it. I'm gonna do a set, then I'm gonna drop this 10 pounds. Then I'm gonna do a set, then I'll probably take the 25 off. And then I'll do 225 for a couple sets. So that's what I mean by going down slow. I may even take the 10 off, do the 25, take that off, put a 10 on, do a set, and then go to 225. So pyramid up quicker, go down slower. That way you're not exhausting the muscle before you get to a higher weight. So anyways, we'll move on to the next piece of equipment. All right, guys, so I did 6 sets of bench press, and now I'm gonna move over to this bad boy, this Cybex machine. This thing is typically more of a shoulder machine, especially if you go flat back and you get your hands up here. But I wanted to shoot from this angle and show y'all how I use this. I'm gonna drop it down to about the 3. Put a weight up there that you can do, a good 10, 12 times. We're not doing the same thing we're doing on bench. We're just gonna get some reps in. And from here on out, the rest of it, 7 to 12 reps. Just look at it that way. That's how I've always put it, 7 to 12, 7 to 12. That's a good range to be in. Sometimes 15, sometimes maybe later in your workout, not early. But the reason I wanted to show you this angle, because this machine, if you sit with your back all the way up like this, like you're supposed to, shoulders back, you can see it stretches me. And my shoulders back like this. That's really hitting the shoulders pretty hard. I use this on chest day, and all I do, you have to be careful doing this, but I take my back off and I slide it all the way to the edge like I'm doing an incline bench press. Back is not touching. The only thing touching and planted on this bench is my shoulders. So my shoulders are planted. I get a good wide stance, my butt's on the edge, and then I push from down here so that I'm kind of doing more of a upper deck movement. So literally take here and you're just gonna go Next thing I'm gonna do is some dips. I like to pull these in, get a little tricep, keep my elbows close. But we're gonna do some dips real quick. After we hit that upper chest, we're gonna do some dips and rock those triceps and some of that lower chest. And we're gonna lean into it. Bam. Yes, sir. Done 6 sets of flat bench, 4 sets of the incline, 4 sets of dips. Now I'm gonna drop 4 sets of pec deck. And then after that, I'll hit some tries. So that's not a whole lot, not too big of a deal. It's just I do enough sets. And then sometimes I'll break it up. I might do I might do a true decline bench. I add some dumbbell variations, stuff like that. But this is typically my routine. So we're gonna crush this pec deck, and you know how we do. We rack this out, you know what I'm saying? So we rack this out. We need some weight. So we've hit our bench, we've hit our chest, we've hit incline, we've hit dips, we've hit pec deck. Now we're just gonna end this workout with some triceps. I always do that. I always hit my triceps on my chest day. And I don't do a whole lot. I just do some rope pull downs and stuff like that, maybe different variations of pull downs. That's about all I do. So we're just gonna get in here and crush these, rep these bad boys here out. I could have probably added a little bit more weight here, but it's all right. We'll keep some good squeeze on the out here. Really focus on the squeeze. And with these, I'm not really worried about reps. I'm just trying to burn. Whether it's 20, 25, 10, it don't matter. Just burn those triceps. You've already hit them, finish them off.